In the forgotten quarter of the city, a nameless building stood between a derelict cinema and a shuttered café. It existed on no map and bore no number, a slip of shadow and brick by day. But each night at 1 minute past midnight, a single, steadfast light ignited in an upper window, and its door swung silently inward on unseen hinges. It did not call to the purposeful, but to the quietly lost. Those pursued by sleeplessness, deafened by the roar of their own thoughts, or stranded at a crossroads where every signpost had faded. It was a library for souls who had misplaced their narrative, and its only admission fee was a burden carried too long. Noah Bennett crossed its threshold on a night when the silence in his new, empty apartment had become a physical pressure. Adrift in the wake of a divorce that felt less like an ending and more like an erasure, he wandered the rain-slick streets until the warm light in the unmarked building's window drew him like a beacon. Inside, space unfolded into impossibility, a grand, silent cavern of knowledge where shelves stretched into a misty forever, lined with books whose spines were blank. A librarian with eyes like a calm twilight met his gaze and uttered the sole rule: you may read only one book. Choose carefully. After a long wander through the mute aisles, Noah's hand settled on a volume bound in soft brown leather that seemed to hum with a familiar warmth. Seated in a secluded alcove, he opened it to find not printed text, but the flowing script of his own memories, chronicling moments tender, forgotten, and regretful with unflinching clarity. All around him in the hushed vastness, others undertook the same sacred, solitary audit. A man stood weeping as he rediscovered a long-surrendered bravery etched in his personal pages. A young woman traced lines of text that shimmered with possibility, her face transforming as she read permission to dream expansively, a permission she had never granted herself. The profound silence was a tapestry woven from 100 intimate reckonings, a communal yet deeply private pilgrimage where the only sound was the whisper of a turning page, the sharp intake of breath at a revelation, the soft sigh of a weight being understood, if not yet lifted. When the deep chime of 3 o'clock echoed through the library, the signal was universal. The librarian's gentle voice reminded all that it was time to return their borrowed volumes. Noah closed his book, its final page now bearing a fresh inscription in his own hand. You are not late. You are just beginning again. He returned the heavy tome, feeling not that his past had been rewritten, but that it had finally, fully been witnessed. Stepping back into the mundane night, he found the city unchanged, yet he was fundamentally altered. The burden was gone, not because his history was erased, but because it had been integrated, its lessons read and its hold released. The library dissolved with the dawn, leaving no trace but a lingering sense of peace in those it had touched. Yet its purpose is eternal. On any night when the quiet grows profound and the soul's question too urgent to ignore, the light will gleam again at 12:01 a.m. The door will be unlocked for the next weary traveler, ready to offer the ultimate, terrifying gift, the chance to sit in the quiet and read the truth of one's own life, cover to cover, without skipping a single, sacred page.